Rolling. And action camera. Action Amanda.
1, 2, 3, 4,
And left.
5,
Ah! Boom! You ready? Aim. And bang!
12, 13, 14.
Horizon clearly is the single most ambitious project that Guerrilla Games has ever taken on. Our background tends to be that of a first-person shooter development, so the intense combat is in our DNA. So logically, when we start making this open-world action RPG game, it's filled with what we're good at, and that is intense combat.
It wasn't an easy transition going from Killzone to Horizon. It's a big leap. It's in some cases sort of 180-degree turn that we've done with the company, where we went from something that we knew very well to something that we knew very little about initially. And it's been 5 years of learning how these games work, how the systems work, how the designs of it works.
Try to expand it further, because these machines are way more complicated, of course, than the Hellguns.
We wanted something basically that people hadn't really seen before in RPGs, basically, where you could just literally go in there and physically take off individual armor plates.
The areas that needed most improvement in the engine, I think, were everything related to open world. So everything streaming, being able to draw like, tens of kilometers of view range, everything being so out of order. You can go anywhere at any moment, pick up anything. Everything is very dynamic.
We were primarily basically using very sort of outdated scripting tools, basically that allows you to make a very scripted experience, but didn't really allow you to make a large world. Our investment in tools was really important, making tools basically that allowed our artists and our designers to work very fast and create really high quality content at a very high pace.
Horizon is the first time we are creating quests, so we had to invest a lot in terms of technology, open world engine, etc., but also in assembling the team, hiring a writer's team, a quest design team, etc. So it's been a huge undertaking for the studio.
Technical and graphical level, I think our team has very, very talented people already, trained by making the Killzone games. But on storytelling side, I think we were very far behind.
Well, for us during Horizon has definitely been new territory.
There's a much higher level of narrative and a focus on storytelling in this game that wasn't present. And so Guerrilla needed to have some different capabilities, different skill sets.
Why am I an outcast? Who was my mother?
The main pillars of this world were already there. We had the lush, verdant nature. We had these mechanical beasts that are like robotic dinosaurs, and also human beings who were living in this kind of more primitive or tribal state. And at that point, how exactly those elements had come to exist in this world together hadn't really been worked out.
For this game we really said the story is one of the core pillars of the game. It's one of the most important bits. We need to get some external people, but have them work here on site and make a writers team.
We brought in a lot of quest designers, a lot of talent that worked on open world games before, and of course our narrative director, John Gonzalez.
The philosophies of those new designers and those new engineers basically that came from different companies have sort of basically has gotten into the way we think about making games.
We were able to really focus on the narrative of the game and really make sure that it's something that's really integral part of your gameplay experience.
When I arrived, John and his team had written the overarching narrative for the game and had an understanding of where the story was going to go, but it was written as a story, not as a series of quests. And so the quest team had the opportunity to work with the writers to break that story apart into smaller chunks, figure out where the gameplay would be, where the cutscenes would be, how it would all fit together.
Braves, to Aloy's side, now!
We've hired people for basically that have done these things before, that have written stories in open world games, that have scripted adventures in open world games, and all of that experience combined basically has allowed us to sort of grow as a company.
Identity confirmed. Even if it destroys me, I will see this through.
People who are more mechanically focused can make suggestions for all sorts of ways to realize a concept that as writers we weren't thinking of. The same thing can be said of collaboration with art, other disciplines. Everybody who's working on a game is, to a certain degree, a storyteller. They're at least involved in realizing that story as vividly as possible.
Guerrilla culture really hasn't changed that much over the years. It's a very ambitious culture. It's a fearless culture. We want to pursue the kind of games that we want to make, and I think quality is always key. The people that we bring in are very passionate, very quality-led, and that goes for the old crew as well as for the new hires.